his mom is
a smoking hot teen mom.
yeah, smoking hot teen mom. She's like 27, 28 or something like that. And Onizuka is very interested in going. Oh, I should be in the camera. And going on a date with her, and uh, Mu Kai or whatever his name is,
Mirai
Mirai. Um,
does
he
not want that to happen.
yes, he has a mother complex or something like that. He wants to protect his mom because he views all adults as betrayal and stuff like that because the dad left and never came back. Um, so of course Onizuka goes on a date with her and he's spying on them. He's like, haha, I will stop you. I was here just because I was just passing by. And they catch him, and he confronts his mom, saying, "Hey, mom, I need to protect you from people like him because he's an adult and he's a teacher. He's bad." Excuse me.
It turns out the whole time there's one subplot that we didn't mention where uh, this all started with Onizuka needing to do at-home conferences with the family,
Yeah, and you said not to do it.
and we find out that the school decided to not do it, but Onizuka decides to do it, but with only single moms,
Yep. Only with the moms.
and treats it as a date.
Yep. They get into a date. So then they go on the date, and after he confronts them in the sushi place, he goes home and he gets a call from his friend saying, "Oh, they're adults on a date. That means they went to a love motel." And he's like, "Oh crap!" So he's going all over the place looking for this love motel. He runs into um, somebody, and then he gets chased back to his house. Um, and he just they just a group of older guys, and they just run him down or whatever. Um, he gets home and he finds his mom laying on the couch, like, I'm gonna protect you, blah blah blah. Finds out the next day that like nothing happened, and this was the conference to go on a date, and then Onizuka was ready. Then I think it was the next day. Onizuka was ready for another date, and he challenges Murai challenges Onizuka to a feat of strength, which is a racing game, and if because he's very good at video games, and they fight each other, and of course Onizuka's holding back, and at the very end, he kicks his ass. This puts Mirai into a frenzy of like, oh no, crap, I lost, crap, I need to protect my mom at all costs. So he handcuffs Onizuka to a Buddha statue, and Onizuka gets pissed off, and and of course he rips it off and starts chasing them while they're on bikes. Then they're running and running and running, and then they see his mom, and his mom almost gets hit by a truck, and Onizuka saves her, and
By the way, while he's still handcuffed to the Buddha statue.
yep. And then he goes off on a date with another another student's mom or whatever. And then the mom berates Murai, saying, I think she slaps him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's parenting 101. Sometimes you gotta slap them kids, right? And slaps him and says, "Hey, yeah, yeah. Some men, a true man always does what he's supposed to do, no matter like what his personality is." And he kind of learns a lesson, but not really. Um, and then I think that's the end of the episode. And then goes to the next episode, episode 8.
One that
Did I forget something? It's okay.
it's inconsequential, but one thing I liked about it was we saw Ape Escape.
Oh yeah,
Game I haven't seen it since the 90s.
yeah, and he was like playing it with the PS1 controller, and it was like super in detail. Yeah, that was at the beginning of the episode. Or is it the episode 8 that's
No,
starting
it was
now?
the beginning of 7.
Okay, 7. So then episode 8 is basically the conclusion of this kid, and
And at the beginning, we see the vice principal reunite with his car
that's
for a
right, it's
third
his car.
time.
It's finally fixed. His his not Chrysler,
Crystal.
Crestal, his Crestal car. I think it sounds like it's a Chrysler. Um, this amazing white car that he damaged twice and he got refurbished now twice. He looks down in the parking lot. Oh, my beautiful car! Oh, my beautiful car! It's there. It's so beautiful. I parked it in the back so it won't get damaged or anything. And he sees a couple of guys like touching his car, and he's like, "Oh crap! Now I have to go polish my car. These guys touched my car." And he gets the polish thing, walks down, and he realizes my car's gone. No, my car's gone. He just starts freaking out again.
After the classic old anime style looking all over nook and cranny.
And it's gone. Uh, this guy in his car, man, he's so attached to his car that it's just great. It's just fun to watch him struggle with his car. It's kind of what he deserves for sniffing butts. Um, and he goes back to the kid and
Alright.
Mirai, and he's still like, yeah, I protected my mom.
He
Blah,
still
blah,
has the
blah.
mother complex and still hates Onizuka.
Yep. And then I don't forget what happened, but he's off. Oh, that's right. His mom invites Onizuka and him and his two friends to bowling. That's what it is. Trying to bring them back together in a sense. Like, oh, we need to do this for like a team building kind of thing. And she's dressed up in this super tight uh, thing, and she's like, oh, look how bright I look. And Mariah's like, yeah, but not in public. You need to go back home and change. She's like, oh no, no, I don't need to. So they start bowling with each other, and they're like, haha, if you roll a gutter ball, you're a failure. You better not screw our team. Blah blah blah.
By the way, Onizuka and Mirai is on one team, Team Frowns, and the mom and his two friends are on Team Smiles.
Yes, and she has bowled before apparently. She bowls a strike. Then he bowls it into the gutter,
But it
and
somehow
Onizuka,
bounces out.
yeah, he puts so much spin on there, it just bounces out and he gets a strike. And then Onizuka goes up and
Pitches it like a baseball.
yep, and he breaks the pins, and they're like, "Is that legal?" They're like, "Well, the pins aren't there anymore, so yeah, it totally counts." And then the mom gets a call, and she has to leave, of course, and she's the only person that's breaking the tension, so she leaves, and Mirai is like, "Oh, I bet you can't. I'm gonna." He like pisses him off or something like that. He stomps on his foot or
He first,
drops a bowling ball
first he
on his
drops a
foot.
bowling ball on his foot.
You can't bowl without a foot.
Then Onizuka throws a bowling ball in his face.
Yep. At the kid's face, and then he gets him back for something else. But then Onizuka's like, "Oh, I'm gonna grab two of them," but realizing they won't come off, and he's like, Mariah's like, "Ha ha ha! I knew this would happen, so I put super glue in those balls. Now you're never gonna get them out." And so Onizuka's like really pissed off, and he and Mariah and his friends just run off. They're like, "You're never gonna get us," and they run into that Chrysler car,
Yeah.
white car, and they start kicking it. And these group of thugs come out, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing kicking our car? You put scratches on our car. You're gonna have to pay us back for that." He's like, "No, I just kicked the tire. What are you talking about?" No, no, you put scratches on it, and then he hits one of the guys. He's like, "Oh, you broke my arm. It's broken." I didn't, and he's like, I didn't break your arm. I didn't hit you that hard. He's like, oh no, I'm pretty sure it's broken. Are you telling me my friend doesn't have a broken arm? That's gonna cost you a million yen. I was gonna say zenny. That's not right. Million yen. And so then Onizuka comes up. They're like, oh, sensei, sensei. Oh yeah, now he's their sensei when
And
he's coming to save them.
he's also fully embodied the bowling balls stuck to his hand.
Yeah, he's like, I am from the 22nd century. I am Dorimuka.
Doraemon.
Doraemon, that's what it is. And they're like, no, no, you're a teacher. He's like, no, I've never seen these kids. And he's like, ooh, looks like you're beating up some children. Sounds like fun. Mind if I join? Hey, do you have? He walks up to them. Hey, do you have a light? And they're like, sure, absolutely. So they're like, well, why are you befriending them, Sensei? What do you? He's like, what are you talking about? I am Doraemon. I have never seen these children before. And so they put him in some sleeping bags, tie him up, and they're like, oh, these are our new punching bags. So these guys are like punching these kids and stuff like that. He's like, I think we can do better than this. And they start like throwing out ideas left and right. And he's like, maybe bungee jumping would be good. So they go to the bridge, get some rope. They're like, no, this rope won't do anything. He's like, how dare you do this? Oh my God, this is horrible. And he's like, well, is it as and he goes back to him saving his mom. Is it as horrible as you not saving your mom if you're not willing to put your life on the line? Then you won't be able to save someone you love, like your mom. You know, otherwise you're just running away from your problems, like all those adults you think that you hate. And like this realization just pops into his head. And he's just like, okay, I gotta jump off this bridge. And then if I do this, you're never gonna date my mom again. He's like, all right, we'll prove it. And so he takes his time, works up the courage, and he finally jumps off. And his two friends like are pulling him up, and they're like, and these thugs are like, yeah, this is pretty great, awesome. All right, what kid is next? And then Onizuka gets pissed off. He's like, no, you're next, and he breaks the balls. And he turns into something else.
Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star.
I don't know what that is.
And does
but he's a badass anime character.
100 or so punch that Kenshiro does. And punches him off the bridge.
He punches like 4 of them off the bridge, and like their leader starts running away. He's like, wait a minute. But let's chase them down. So they get in the car. They don't have keys, of course. So Onizuka just rigs it really fast, and he's like, wait a minute, this isn't a normal teacher. How did he do that so fast? How did he hotwire this car? And so they're like, and then they open the glove box and see a picture, and it's a picture of the vice principal with his family. So wait a minute, this is the principal's car. How dare they steal his car? So he chases him down on the highway, and they're going zooming, and they're like, and he hits a trash can. Hey, you hit a trash can. Don't worry about it. The getting him back is more important. And then he runs into like all these different signs, and then other things causing all this damage to this car. And there's this big, huge police car chase, and they're just running him down. And then they finally, and then the scene skips to like the next morning, and the principal's walking, and then someone comes up to him and is like, hey, someone found your car. He's like, oh my God, my car? Yes, I knew it would turn up. And they see that it's what? Again.
Destroyed.
Yep, it's destroyed again. He's like, no, this wasn't me. Someone else did it. And the cops come are like, are you the owner of this car? He's like, yes, I am. He's like, we need to talk to you about your reckless driving. No, it wasn't me. I'm the victim here. So Mirai learns his lesson. And that is, if you want to save your family, jump off a bridge. That's the moral of the day. Alright, so that was episode 8. Episode 9 kind of changes gears. We get introduced to a new teacher who's also a pervert. I don't remember his
physical
name.
ed teacher.
Fushirama or something?
Fukuro or something like that.
Fukurama? Futurama, I guess we'll call him that. But he is a phys ed teacher, and it's him basically staring at these girls' butts, and he wants them to be in the short shorts and run laps and
There's
stuff like
one
that.
old scene where there's a girl in pants and he just completely
How dare
berates
you
her.
wear sweatpants? How dare you? You're not supposed to be wearing sweatpants. And so he's like you gotta take it off, and it shows a picture of his butt, and he gets all like um, red in the face. His nose didn't bleed, but he got red in the face. And then a rocket hits him in the face, and it's like a bottle rocket that Onizuka and Mirai, his new two friends, are having fun with. They hit him in the face, and they start chasing Onizuka and stuff like that. And then it leads to this whole different thing where he wants to be like in charge or something. He starts hating Onizuka for hitting him in the face, and then what led to the? Because they had that swim meet. Like he,
Uh,
that's right. He goes to confront him, and he sees that Onizuka like does his karate, and he cracks a bat in half with his foot. So he's like immediately he's like intimidated. He's like, oh, I need to talk to you. I did not appreciate you hitting me with that rocket. So we're gonna settle this with something that I'm good at, a swim meet. And so he gets ready, and he's like doing the perfect strokes, and he's like looking at all the girls in the room. He's like, yes, they totally love me. They love my perfect posture. They love my perfect movements in the water, and they're all like grossed out by him. They're like, ew, look at his hips. Ew, oh, that's so gross. Why is he doing that? Why is he acting like that? He's just like, yeah, he's all about him. All about him, Mr. 32-year-old gym teacher.
Futurama.
Yeah, Futama or whatever his name is, Futurama.
It's odd that I don't even remember his name.
Well, I did on subtitles, that's why. I watched it in Japanese. That's how I remember stuff better. Otherwise, I would never remember names. Um, and so they're trying. So that was like the warm up, and they're like, hey, well, I think Mirai and his friends are like, we should make this more fun. Let's bet on it, and everybody starts betting on Futurama, the swim guy, and you have Onizuka like just smoking a cigarette and like eating food before this race. He's Fukuyama or Futurama looks at him. He's like, "What are you doing? You're not supposed to eat 30 minutes before you'll die." And he's like, "Yeah, whatever." And so they start the race, and Fukurama is is like super focused, and he like dives in. He's like, I'm going super fast, and he comes back, and he gets there, and just before he hits the wall, Onizuka is there,
Already
already at the
out of the
wall.
water. Out of
Yeah,
the water.
and
Smoking.
he's like, how the hell did you do that? I've been racing. I went to I went to school for 4 years of training for this, and I've been training my whole life just for this moment. And how did you beat me? And they're like, yeah, Onizuka just dived in. He just stayed underwater the whole time. And my theory is he didn't even swim. He just kind of stayed there and held his breath and waited for the other guy to come and touch his hand beforehand. That's my theory, at least, because he's underwater. I guess
Or
they couldn't
he
see.
just sunk it. Yeah, underwater.
Yeah, and so the teacher loses. He gets pissed off,
He
and
loses about like 10 times before he gets it.
yeah, he even bets his entire wallet that he's gonna win. He's like, "There's no way you can win. I'm gonna bet my whole wallet." Um, and then he's like, "No, you cheated. We're gonna do this again." So he goes and he cracks like half a dozen eggs into a cup and starts chugging it like Rocky did. Just does it raw. And he's like, "Now that I did that, I will be able to beat you." And the same thing happens. He's like, "No, you cheated again," and like keep going back and forth. And he's just like super pissed off. He's like, "How did he beat me? It makes no sense." And then Onizuka's like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy food for everyone. Hey."
And also the whole time this was going on, the queen bitch, Miyabi, uh,
she's
and her
scheming.
gang schemes to try to get Onizuka fired, and
And
they end up.
what is their plan, Jake? What is their devious plan?
They take a plastic bag full of their panties and go and try to put it into
I think they called it boomers in the show. It was a really weird word. It started with a B or something.
Onizuka's locker
Yep. So this
using uh,
their other one of their friends, this
that
girl
is
with giant lips
F
and
cups at the age of 14.
yeah, and they keep talking about it. She's like, "Oh, I started getting them when I was 10." I was like, "Okay," um, and Onizuka's flustered, of course, and so she puts it in Onizuka's locker, and they're gonna frame him, and then they go to the principal and are like, "Hey, someone stole our panties, or our bloomers, or whatever they're called," um, and
They search all the students first.
yep, they search all the students, and who takes charge? None other than Futurama
Queen
himself.
bitch.
No. Futurama is the teacher that takes charge, and he's like, I think we should search all the student stuff. And then the queen bitch is like, hey, we should search the teachers' lockers too. And so of course they go to Onizuka's locker, and Onizuka is like, no, don't go in there, don't go in there. And they're like super suspicious of him, and
Eventually, they open it. They find underwear, not girls' underwear. They find a mountain of his underwear.
yeah, his dirty underwear. And they're like, why do you keep it in the locker? Because it would be a mess in my room. I don't know why I had
It would
so
stink
much.
up his room.
Yeah. And so they go, so the Fukushima, or Futurama, is, we're just going to call him Futurama. It makes it easier. Until we know what his name is. Futurama, then he's like, oh, I'm going to look in my locker, because obviously I didn't do anything. And he opens it up, and he sees the bag of panties in there. And he's like, oh, there's nothing to see here. So he like takes his arms, grabs it. Oh no, I grabbed it. I damaged my locker. And he's like holding it above his head. I need to go take and repair this. And then he's talking, going back and forth, and all of a sudden part of it opens and panties fall out. They're like, oh my god, it's you. And he's like, no, I was framed.
By the way, his locker was.
I forgot what happened to him.
I think he's still working at school.
Yeah, because it would be weird to be in charge of that. But they got the. Anyways, the important thing is that the F cup girl put it in the wrong locker.
It was the locker right next to Onizuka's.
Yes, ironically, and so they have a meeting in the by the pool, and
The queen
bitch, yes, she's talking to the F girl, or the F cup girl, and like, you are a terrible person. You failed in your task. Everything you do, you fail at. And so she pushes her into the water, and she starts like fumbling around, and she's like, oh my god, I can't swim. I'm drowning. And then the queen bitch starts to walk away, and she's like, she's not gonna drown. That's the shallow end. And so the F cup girl just stands up. Oh yeah, I can't drown. And so basically, she doesn't want to talk to her because she messed up. That's when the episode ends.
Yep.
And then we get to episode 10, where now the focus is on this F cup girl, who's everybody's calling her slow, and everything she tries to do,
she does wrong.
she does incorrectly. Yeah, she takes candy from strangers. Um, she'll walk into a room that says "Do not enter," or wrong way or whatever. And she kept getting like questions wrong, but like simple tasks she couldn't do. She was very fumbly, let's say. Um, and so everybody calls her Slow. At least in the Japanese version, they call her Slow. I don't know what they
Yeah, they did.
call her in the other one. They call her Slow, and so and then the queen bitch keeps throwing paper at her, and they're bullying her and stuff like that. They make her
Sit on ice cream.
Yep, they make her sit on ice cream, and then the teacher's like, "Oh no, what happened? It's ice cream." Blah blah blah. And then Onizuka, uh, then it goes to her playing in a schoolyard, and she's playing dolls basically. Oh, you just got home, honey. Well, let me cook you dinner. Blah blah blah. And these two like kids half her age are walking by, and they start laughing at her. I thought they were crying. But they were like laughing at her for playing with dolls. And then, what do you know? Onizuka comes and he's like, "Hey, ho, I am the first son. I am gonna mooch off you. Blah blah blah. What are you gonna do?" And he starts playing with her. And um, another thing is that the queen bitch's friend wants the queen bitch to enroll in this beauty pageant. I think it is. And she's like, "No, I don't want to. I don't want to do that." But her friend does. And so he makes a field trip, and the whole class goes to this beauty pageant thing, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna look for the next bright star, the shining star of this class." And he's like looking at the queen bitch, like, "Yeah, we're gonna do it for you." Meanwhile, he asks the F cup girl,
Mm-hmm.
that "You need to wear this outfit, and I'm gonna get a producer, and I'm also a producer. I'm gonna come by and pick you up or whatever." And she thinks she's gonna do adult like film stuff.
Porn.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, we need to change your outfit from this bunny outfit to this sexy bunny outfit to just regular schoolgirl stuff." And they're like, "Yeah, we know what elderly men like,
Middle-aged.
middle-aged men like." Um, and so at the end of the episode, she comes up, and he's like, "Oh, I got my star right here. She's gonna come," and they bring her in. And one thing Onizuka asks her about is her confidence level. Um, Even at her parents' restaurant, she would make mistakes and fumble the dishes and stuff like that. She just doesn't have any confidence in herself. So this is like a confidence booster for her. He's trying to take care of his student in his own unique, awesome way. And so he basically enrolls her in this beauty contest. And that's where the episode left off. And on a cliffhanger, and we don't know what happens. Probably some shenanigans. Maybe some turtles fall from the sky and they all have turtle soup for dinner. We don't know what's going to happen. Um, but somebody's going to learn a lesson, good or bad.
Probably
But
bad.
but I like this cliffhanger. It's good to see like the dumb character, like a D&D character, being dumb. Like how would you play that character? And they played that very well. They did that. They showed it very well. What the character is doing and stuff. With F Cup Girl, and then the teacher who's like super strong but has flaws. He doesn't have a lot of charisma and stuff like that. And then what's the other person? Not the queen bitch, but the mom, the teen mom.
Mariah's mom.
Yeah, very good character building. I don't know how they do it, but they do it very well, and I enjoy it. Anyways, that's it for DervDerp and Friends, reviewing random things.
Please.
Like and subscribe, please, or not. I don't care if you do it. It's his channel. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm Steiner, and he's DervDerp,
And
it was an adventure.
this was episode 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or 7, 8, 9, 10. Next week we'll do
5 episodes.
5, and that will probably be our baseline per episode. At least while we're still doing the half-hour episode, 25-minute episodes. Once we get to shows that have hour long, it'll probably be different.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe a
Cool.
1 or 2 then.
Yeah, if you enjoyed it, leave a like and make a comment, or
And
not.
please suggest anything else for us to watch and review.
Not Dragon Ball Z. We're not doing that. That's too long. No.
What's
No.
on the docket is after this probably The Boys, or before we even finish this weekly, we'll also do The Boys season 4,
Yeah, and then we're gonna do One Piece after that.
and
That's not long.
then we will do the Dresden Files TV show and Buffy eventually. But
Eventually, we'll see. Okay, bye.
signing out.
What was that?
The outro.
The over attached girlfriend face I was trying to make. Overly attached girlfriend.